All right, what's going on, everybody? I don't know if y'all heard that last part of that sentence. Cozy, we love you, I promise. Browns get the win in Jacksonville, first preseason game of the year. A lot to talk about. It was an interesting game. I don't know how long we're gonna go with this, but we're got a few of us here right now. We'll see who else jumps in. We're gonna basically just kind of share our thoughts on the game, what we liked, what we didn't like. So if you missed our halftime thoughts, we're probably gonna repeat a lot of that here. Um, but again, the Browns get the win. So let's go around the room to start. Just quick couple sentences. What overall was your thoughts from the game? I'm going to start with you first, Tristan.
I felt like uh, when Deshaun was in, it was clear that there was rust. It was clear there was anxiety. It just wasn't a well-oiled machine. Uh, but when our second stringers came in and we saw the rest of the lineup, I felt like everybody else played pretty well. So really, the only thing to worry about is Deshaun, really how he's going to fit in, and of course easing his nerves and starting to grow and feel more comfortable in the system.
Yeah. Tony, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, Sean didn't look too hot for sure. Josh Dobbs is what really impressed me. That's who I was really impressed with, was Dobbs. I thought he looked amazing. I thought the defense really stepped it up late in the game. Obviously, preseason, it's hard to judge anything. But, rough first half, amazing second half. Still a lot to prove, but overall, I'm happy.
Yeah. JC, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'll second the Dobbs stuff. He looked awesome. I mean, he looked like he was a backup level quarterback. Behind Brissett, it's depending on how many games Deshaun's gone, made me feel a lot more comfortable at him. But my biggest takeaway, other than that, is obviously Ford. To me, I thought that guy. I mean, I liked him a lot when we drafted him, but he impressed me a ton. And there's zero chance that this isn't Kareem's last year. Again, preseason, but I think he showed tools, right? He showed the tools, and he's not gonna regress a ton. So I'm glad with that pick. I mean, him in the fifth, great value. So that was my other biggest takeaway.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to start off, we'll go down through the game as a whole, but one thing that I noticed a lot, JC, you texted this to us, Jamarcus Bradley was the one returning kicks. I found this personally to be a little bit interesting, because we've been talking about this, and the one thing we kept saying was, all right, are they going to give Schwartz an opportunity? Are they going to give DPJ again? Which, thank God, we didn't.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed with DPJ. I hope so, at least.
Absolutely. But the surprising one for me was the name everybody kept throwing around was Demetric Felton, because Demetric Felton was somebody who can do that job, and we didn't see him. So Jamarcus Bradley returned kicks the entire game. What did you guys think about that? Do you think that's how it's going to remain? Because I found that really interesting, me personally. Tristan, you can go first.
Yeah. So Jamarcus Brantley, if you guys will remember, was a Jets game legend during the COVID year. I mean, he was the only guy in that game in particular for me when I went back and watched that when we had all of our receivers out with COVID. He was the only one that to me looked to be an NFL caliber receiver at the time. But yeah, no, I mean, it's certainly interesting considering the fact that we've invested so heavily in young guys at that position. And Jamarcus Brantley, I think I can safely say
I gotta give you the cozy treatment, or he's gonna murder me. It's Jamarcus Bradley,
man.
Bradley.
Oh, I thought it was Brantley. My apologies. Jamarcus Bradley.
Get him out of here. No more talk. Get him out of here.
I don't want to hear it.
No. So, but Jamarcus, I felt like he, coming into this game and coming into the season, was going to be a practice squad guy for us. I couldn't see a way he made the roster, and that is not necessarily a shot at him as a receiver or a football player, more so because we've invested draft capital. We've invested a lot at that receiver position as far as youth goes. So it's very interesting to see them looking to put him in that spot because Jakeem Grant's gone. I wonder if he's the guy that they're going to keep on the roster and in replace for Jakeem Grant. There's a lot of questions that I've got about that receiver room. And unfortunately, not a lot of them got answered tonight. So, Jamarcus, I wish him the best, and I hope he does make the team just because, every time I've noticed him on the field, he's always been doing something good. So, just me personally, he's one of my more favorite underrated players, one of my most favorite practice squad guys. So, wish him all the best, but, it was definitely shocking to see him in that role.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we move on, I want to address some comments here. Isaiah Thomas was absolutely fantastic. I loved what Isaiah Thomas did.
He's making the team, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a question. Yeah,
absolutely. And then Zachary Kyle says think Dobbs could start over Brissett. I don't. I really liked what I've seen from Josh Dobbs so far. Today I thought was really good. He seemed to execute the offense with little to no issues. It was just smooth. You know what I mean?
He's quick too, man. That one run he had was the touchdown pass, really, too.
Yeah, I'd say the only way that Brissett loses his job to Dobbs is if Brissett just comes out and he just does not take advantage of the situation. He doesn't look good. I'm expecting 100% Jacoby Brissett's our week 1 starter.
Absolutely.
I think Dobbs' only chance is if Brissett's bad in the regular season. I don't think he has a chance to start week 1.
I agree with that.
Yeah. But moving on, JC, what did you think about Jamarcus Bradley returning kicks? Was that interesting to you?
It was extremely interesting to me. I texted you those exact words. I didn't expect it. I definitely thought Film was going to go back there because, obviously with oh my God, our kick returner. He just got hurt.
Grant.
Yeah, with Grant getting hurt, that was kind of one of the things like, Felton's making the team now, right? He's just kind of take his spot in, on the offense and kick returning. But I don't know. I don't know if they're real comfortable with him there, and they just wanted to see what Bradley would do. And it is still Felton's job. I almost can't see that being the case, but I thought it was interesting. I thought that Bradley at this point too almost seems like he's pretty like good chance of making the team. So I would have wanted to see one of our UDFAs or one of the guys lower down get a chance back there to see if they could just make the team that way too. But Bradley did all right. I didn't see anything crazy impressive, but he caught the ball every time, so it's better than dropping it.
I just think it's interesting that he was the only one.
Exactly. I thought they'd get a couple guys, for sure.
Yeah, when I saw him out there, I was like, all right, cool. They're gonna rotate guys, and then no, it was Jamarcus Bradley. So we'll see what happens in the next preseason game, and plus. With practices and everything like that, they're going to try out some guys. I guarantee you they're going to have some sort of plan B, and we'll see what happens in the next preseason game. But, Tony, what did you think about Jamarcus Bradley back there returning?
I don't know how I feel about it, man. I don't hate the idea of him returning kicks. At this point, I'd say let's just put Schwartz. He might drop the ball 8 million times, but he's fast. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the idea of him returning kicks. I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. I was excited to see Jakeem Grant, and unfortunately that's not going to happen now. So, it's whatever. Whoever fits that the best that can return kicks, not really a top priority for me, I guess, at the moment because it's only week 1 of the preseason, but
yeah, no, I agree.
One
with
thing
you.
I think is worth mentioning is
Go ahead, Tony.
One thing we're some Browns news, and we covered it earlier with Zach Wilson's ACL tear, and then the Deshaun suspension news coming out soon. How does that affect the market? Because if I'm the Jets, I probably call Jimmy G right now. or after what you've seen tonight, are you confident rolling with Dobbs as the backup and letting Brissett start, or would you still want to make a move potentially for a starting quarterback?
This is the thing. I'm calling regardless. I really liked what Josh Dobbs did, but if I'm Andrew Berry, I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to see around. I'm going to check around, see what guys are costing. We talked about this a little bit in spaces, but the one name that I really like that I think a lot of people are not thinking about, I'm calling Washington and I'm asking what is the price of Taylor Heineke just to see. The guy started last year. I thought he was pretty solid. I liked what I've seen. They obviously paid Carson Wentz what they paid him. He's going to be their starter. And they drafted the kid out of North Carolina, Sam Howell. So he's not in their long-term plans. I would imagine that he could be moved. I would go out and I would ask how much he is, regardless of how good Dobbs played. Rosen I thought was fine, but I'd still ask around. But go ahead, Tristan. I see you had something.
Yeah, so I was first going to talk about Jakeem Grant and how about a lot of the reports I was reading out of camp before his injury were how he was actually looking really good as a receiver, not just a returner, which I was excited. I was also almost more excited to see him as a receiver in this receiver room than I was the returner, just because I kind of knew what we were going to get out of him as a return man. But unfortunately, we aren't going to get a chance to see that this year, which is unfortunate. But as far as like a QB, if we're going to search the market, in my opinion, Jimmy Garoppolo does not fit what this offense is trying to do in the future with Deshaun Watson. I feel like Jacoby Brissett, athletically and arm strength wise, is more towards a Deshaun Watson type of guy. Taylor Heineke, I wouldn't hate that. I'd almost like to see it just because it is somebody who has started games in the NFL. But I'll be brutally honest, and this might be unpopular. If Deshaun has a lengthier suspension and we have to move off of Jacoby or we have to find somebody better, I would consider bringing in Cam Newton, just because I think he fits more so what the Browns are looking to do. Cam Newton, he's gotten to a Super Bowl before, which that means something. So I personally, if we're looking at it like that, if we're looking at it as, listen, we need an upgrade over Jacoby, I don't want to go for Jimmy G and his big cap hit. I also just don't think Jimmy G would be the best solution for us. I think Cam Newton would fit in well here, in my opinion. The only question mark for me with Cam Newton is his personality. Is it going to mesh in with the group in the locker room, which it's been heavily reported that this locker room and the chemistry that they have right now is so great. So, but honestly, I'd prefer just to stick with Brissett, see what he's got.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting conversation. Before we move on, Cozy, what did you think from the quarterbacks? Do you think the Browns should be looking elsewhere? And if you think we should, who do you got on your mind? Uh-oh.
You're
muted. I won't clip that, I promise.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever. We'll see. Oh man. Jacoby. I mean, I want to see what he does. Are we scared to play Jacoby?
I think we are. I think we are.
Are we just not going to see him all preseason? Because I don't think that's going to work. Trying to think here. Let's think. I don't think a trade for Jimmy G is kind of realistic. I think maybe the Jets do trade for Jimmy G. Who knows? I mean, who knows what the Jets are thinking? But I've been a very big proponent on let's go out and trade for Gardner Minshew. I mean, laugh it up all you want, but it is what it is. So
he's a solid quarterback, so I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting conversation. Let's shift gears here. So, unfortunately, with the preseason comes injuries. We talked about Zach Wilson, and for the Browns, a guy who is slated to be our starting center, Nick Harris, goes down with an injury. Now he was carted off, and it's not good. Not good at all. We do have Ethan Pochich, who has time starting for the Seattle Seahawks, so that is a good thing. Um, we'll see what he can do. Behind him, who was the kid that we drafted? I totally forgot his name.
Oh my goodness. Dawson Deaton.
Dawson Deaton, that's right. So the Browns do have some backup at that center position, but question that's kind of going around, should the Cleveland Browns bring back J.C. Tretter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sold. Bring him back right now. Right now. Get on the phone. Andrew Berry needs to be on the phone with him immediately. No questions asked. He already knows the offense. He could fit in right away. We have plenty of cap space. Just make him happy enough to come back at least on a 1-year deal, maybe even a 2-year deal, because he's close to retirement.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Kellen.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see my hand. There he is. Kellen shares his thoughts. He thinks we should.
Yeah, and I agree with Kellen. I think that, Ethan Pochich, when he was brought in, you could almost assume by the contract itself, it was security for if anything happened to Nick Harris, which unfortunately preseason week game 1, and while we don't know for sure what the injury is, 9 times out of 10, when a guy has to get carted off the field and he's holding his knee, it's an ACL or an MCL. So at this point, I think it's safe to assume we've lost Nick Harris for the year, and I feel bad because it's been well documented how great his offseason has been as far as him progressing as a football player, and I feel terrible for him because he's worked really hard off the field to make it happen, and this was his year. But hey, that's football, So, but yeah, I think, even though with having Pochich, it was security for Nick Harris, you cannot necessarily go in as a team who has expectations of going deep into the playoffs, even Super Bowl. Those are our expectations this year and for the next few years minimum. So, if you're a team with those expectations, I don't think it's smart nor safe to go into the season with your starter being a guy who couldn't work it out in Seattle, and a 7th-round draft pick from the previous year, a 7th-round rookie. I just don't think that's a smart way to go about it. So I think, if JC's interested in coming back, JC Tretter, bring him back on a 1-year, give him the money. Yeah, not you, Frog. I don't want you under center. No, but
as he leaves, of course he leaves.
But no,
you're going to be a clip now, JC. Congrats.
So yeah, no, but I think you give him whatever money he wants, bring him back on a 1-year, and I think that would be the best course of action at this point.
I agree. Tony, you got anything you want to add on that?
I'm gonna take. You got to make a move for someone, even if it's not Tretter. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, no, I can. You're just on a delay.
DF?
Yeah, you're on a delay. You're good.
All right. Yeah, you got to make a move at this point. And I just want to shout out Austino in the comments. I'm not excited for my parlays either, my guy. They pay me to talk about gambling, and I still lose 90% of the time.
Absolutely. So this is a big topic, and I'm really tired of having the same conversation. Kellen brings this up. What's your thoughts on Schwartz? Think he has to go? I'm doubting him, or I don't know if I'm doubting him too soon. No, you're not doubting him too soon. Let me tell you why. The dude is not a football player. He's not. I'm sorry. There's a saying about like trying to fit a square peg in a circle hole or however it goes. That's literally what this is with Anthony Schwartz. He can't return kicks. We've seen that, right? We've been over that experiment. so far, he doesn't have the hands. His route running is not great. Deshaun hit him twice tonight, catchable balls, and he just flat out dropped it, killed momentum. There's no reason, in my opinion, that you can't find somebody better than Anthony Schwartz. I don't care if it's in the trade market. I don't care if it's in free agency. You got to get somebody else. You just have to.
Yeah. And to kind of go off of what you were saying there, for me, the long term for Schwartz, I don't think it's too I think it's too early to give up on, because I do think if he does get it together, we could see a really special football player. I would say, however, for this season, it's too big of a risk for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Same thing I was saying about the center spot. Go out, sign Will Fuller, get him in on a 1-year deal. Let Schwartz take another year to develop, because we knew he was a project when we drafted him. And let's see if we don't see noticeable improvement by Schwartz next preseason, cut him.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be a shame for us to give up on a guy who's, in my opinion, while he looks not great, all the tools are there. And it's just, I think he really could be a special football player, but just not this year. I think it's too big of a risk.
Go ahead, Cozy. You're
muted.
I'm watching the comments, and Ostino put something up there that says his first pass was way overthrown, and I'm going to rewatch it, but I think Schwartz ran the wrong route. And I was just about to say that. Schwartz definitely ran the wrong route. There was a lot of guys tonight who ran the wrong route. There was one pass that Dobbs completed to one of the tight ends, and I can't remember who it was, but Felton was in the same position as him. There's no way we had a route that was run to the same exact position.
Yep.
I know we want to get on coaching about that, but at some point we keep coming back to Felton and Schwartz as being two guys who completely run the wrong routes and don't show any progression. I'm sorry, but neither one's going to make this team. They're not available. They're not good in the kick return game. They're not good in the punt return game. I was very high on Anthony Schwartz going into the season. I thought, man, first year he's really, really dedicated to the Browns and very dedicated to football, and he's going to turn it around. He's going to get it together. I'm totally wrong on this. I mean, hopefully saying that I'm wrong finally, like he does well, but I just don't see it. I'm tired of him. I'm sick of him. I just don't think it's a good fit for us. I don't know. I just don't know what to think about it. But and Ossino keeps bringing up people that I want to talk about so badly, like Jamarcus Bradley, who looked really well. I'd love to see when the combination of the OU players of Isaiah Woods and Isaiah Thomas and Michael Woods all combined get out there on both sides of the ball. So
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, go ahead, Derek. Go ahead,
I'm
Derek.
not going to do it.
Go ahead.
Were you going to say we finally would have somebody come out of Oklahoma and be successful for the Browns?
Just for context, Michael Woods and Isaiah Thomas are the ones from Oklahoma, along with Perrion Winfrey. Just
By the way, also Winfrey got held about 3 or 4 times tonight.
Yeah.
My thing is, did anyone else think that they called that personal foul penalty against us late in the game? And I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, you called a roughing the passer that probably should not have been a roughing the passer, especially in the preseason. You called a personal foul late hit out of bounds that he didn't really even follow through. You weren't calling any penalties on the Jags. It just kind of seemed like there was a bunch of penalties that were going against us and none against the Jags. And I was like, I don't think this is on Stefanski. This isn't one of those things where they keep calling penalties against us because we've actually, like, it's so one-sided. I felt like Winfrey got held like 3 or 4 times. I'll tell you who else got held a lot was Isaiah Thomas. He got held a ton.
Yeah.
Also, Alex Wright, he actually had a really good game, and he also got held a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone doesn't realize, like, there was this play where I believe ETN was going to break it to the outside, and someone, the person I was watching the game with, said, well, no one touched him, no one blocked him. I'm like, it was a great play by the defensive end there because he stood his ground and he literally made the tackle. He didn't go too far upfield. He didn't like over pursue. He just stayed home like he's taught to do, and no one blocked him, but he made the tackle. And they were probably expecting, okay, he's going to go too far upfield and not make this tackle and over pursue. But Alex Wright looked really good, to be honest with you. If you want to break it down and look at him.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of guys that could easily be overlooked, I felt like had a really good game. And one of them is who Kellen's bringing up here. And by the way, to JC and Tony, if you guys want to jump in, just go ahead and jump in whenever. But D'Anthony Bell, who was a UDFA signing out of a small school, he actually did an interview with my friends at the Dogs podcast. So if you guys want, go check that one out. They did a great job with him. He was really good tonight. He was very good. And if he keeps this up, he's making a case to make this roster as one of the safeties on this team. One of the other guys that I felt was really, really good was Sione Takitaki. He has shown some flashes, man. This is somebody we talk about as like, oh, he's not going to be around long term. He's kind of one of the most overlooked players on this roster, and I felt like I thought he had a really good game.
I want to mention one thing real quick here, and I know we're talking about defensive players.
Go ahead.
If we're talking about low-end guys who might not make this team, are we like a running back factory?
Oh, my gosh.
Because Don Kelly, he didn't look bad.
No,
what is he?
He's a bowling ball.
Yeah. So I didn't think he looked that bad. I was kind of impressed by him, and I thought, we just keep like producing these guys out of nowhere.
You know who he reminded me of, Cozy? You would know more than probably a couple other of us.
You're going to say Jerome Harrison, aren't you?
You can say Leroy Kelly.
No. Mayan Williams. Meatball. Mayan Williams.
Oh.
He's got a little bit of Mayan Williams in him to where he's a really good runner, but he's thick. You know what I'm saying? He can run you over.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, it's a good comparison. I could see that. I don't know. Do you think he makes this practice squad at least?
I hope so. He's somebody that I would love to call up if need be. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so he's made our practice squad quite a bit lately, hasn't he?
We've had him for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure we have him on a reserves future contract. Is that right? Wrong?
It sounds right. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay, hypothetically speaking, I think we're talking 3 tight ends, and I kind of want to transition into this. And I know you wanted to bring it up too, Derek.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said to bring it up. We're probably keeping 3 tight ends because it looks like with Sean on the field, we're running this offense that is an 11 personnel at most, not really a 12 personnel. And if it is like a 12 personnel, we're kind of splitting the tight end out wide or in the slot, I guess. The one thing is we didn't use a fullback anytime that Deshaun was in there, and the offense kind of looked lost. It didn't look like a Stefanski offense. It kind of looked like we have this brand new offense that we've never run before. And then Dobbs came in, and we went to the Stefanski offense, and we went right down the field. And granted, I know Jerome Ford broke a big run, but there was also a fullback statement on them. So And Kellen just brought it up, and he's saying, "Please tell me it's not Stanton, third tight end. It's going to be
It's
Stanton.
going to be Stanton. Yeah.
It's going to be
Hold on,
Stanton.
hold on. Did Santos Silva or the other guy with the hyphen last name? Oh man, the ripped dude. Did either of them play? Mitchell Payton.
I don't think they did.
I didn't see either of them. I saw
If
Miller
they did, they were
Forstall.
unnoticeable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I saw
Now,
Miller Forstall and then
Forstall.
89.
That. By the way, that's the guy who had the same route as Felton. So someone ran a wrong route there. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say it was Felton. I know that's terrible to assume. We don't know, but there definitely was a wrong route run there. And yep, Kellen saw it too. They ran to the same exact place, and I was just like, Dobbs actually made a good play there. But I guess my transition to this is, why are we changing this offense so much for Deshaun? And then as soon as we went back to the regular offense, it seemed like even the players who were new looked so much better in the Stefanski offense. It's almost like Stefanski knew how to call plays better too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we had them scripted on that play like we normally do for the first 15 plays of the game. And it's like, I know that Deshaun's a better passer and a better thrower, but why are we changing the offense?
You know what I noticed? And this is a very, very good conversation, because this is something that's not just going to affect one game. This is going to be the entire Browns system, I guess, if you want to say it like that, with Deshaun Watson. Why was everything so out of sync? Because it wasn't just the receivers. It wasn't just Deshaun. The offensive line was not good when he was in there. And these guys have been brought in for this system. You know what I'm saying? Jedrick Wills is somebody who is more of a mauler. You know what I'm saying? He's not a sit back and protect for a while kind of guy. Same thing with Wyatt Teller. I know Joe Bitonio didn't play, but I can literally go down the list of all of these offensive linemen that we have. They're built for this system. Why would you drastically change it? And especially, we don't know when we're going to get to see Deshaun Watson again. This could be the only game that we get to see. And it was hot garbage. It was hot garbage. He didn't know what he was doing. The receivers didn't know what they were doing. The offensive line didn't know what they were doing. And Deshaun Watson, I feel like, didn't know what he was doing, which, you know, I don't – everybody's going to sit there and say, you know, how funny it is that, oh, Deshaun Watson in his first snaps for the Browns was 1 for 5. Like, but how much of that can you really put on him at this point? You know, I blame a lot of that on coaching, because I don't know why you try to force something so quick. I would have just come out and run the Kevin Stefanski offense. If I was, you know, coaching this team, you might as well.
This is some overreaction city, man. You guys are, oh my God.
Go ahead. You're
killing me right now.
Go ahead, Frog. Please. Just go right.
Tell me what you – hold on.
Frog, you know what? While you talk, I'm just going to sit here and chill.
Hold on. But JC, before you go.
I'm right there with you, JC.
Tell me what you saw from that offensive scheme, play calling when Deshaun Watson was on the field. Tell me what of that looked like an NFL offense.
So it was bad. Okay.
Not Browns after dark.
So go ahead.
It was bad.
Right? It was bad,
so,
yeah.
So here's my thing, right? We saw 3 and out. Okay. The first drive. To me, you know, whatever that happens, 3 and out, almost scrap it. I don't really see us running our offense when we have a 3 and out like that. Next play, or next drive, we had what do we have? We have 2 plays, a fumble or something.
2 plays and a fumble, yes.
Right. Again,
which was a bad fumble, by the way. Dearness Johnson has no excuse to fumble that football there.
Absolutely.
Cut him.
Now that play wasn't going anywhere.
Cut him now.
That play wasn't going anywhere anyway. But
get rid of him.
We're talking 2 drives right there where we're not even running an offense. Third drive, I don't know how many plays. Again, very short drive. Really didn't get anything out of it. But that's it. That's all we saw. So, to me, we not only have the rust of this being the first game and first couple of drives of the year for the whole team. Deshaun hasn't played for a whole season, and none of these guys have played together before. So it sucks to kind of say this, but I'm throwing out every drive Deshaun was in this year. It was just game action, to me, for him to get. I can't look at that and be like, no, we can't run a different. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. And our offense is changing, but to me, that has nothing to do with it. It was just we're getting really live speed reps, honestly.
So we're gonna play 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends normally, like we normally do, or are we just
I think one of those tight ends could be split out a lot too.
But that's the thing.
But here's the thing: we're not talking about
offense.
We're going to see how he can adapt. And I don't think 3 drives, where 2 of those drives you can basically fully throw out, is going to show you anything. They did simple things. You do vanilla offense, vanilla defense in the preseason. So as soon as those guys came out, it was our second versus their seconds. Yeah, we ran stuff well. Stefanski was probably a little comfortable. He was calling decent plays. Dobbs played really well too, and so did Ford. So it did look good. And let's be real, our team is way better and way deeper than the Jaguars. I think that's a huge factor too, right? So, I mean, this is preseason game 1. That's exactly how I'm viewing it.
And let me kind of just go branch off of what you were saying too. With we were talking like Deshaun went 1 for 5 tonight. 2 of them hit right off of Anthony Schwartz's hands and fell.
Bad.
He did not have an opportunity to get into the flow of the game. Right, there were constant, like that first drive. Again, that stuff just happens. 3 and out, whatever. The second drive, fumble. And then followed up with just drop city after that. And then how do you expect him to be able to show what he can do when stuff around him isn't going well? The O-line, Jedrick Wills. Sorry. I mean, I get that.
Jedrick Wells.
It was a slip up. It was a slip up, but
get him out of here.
We're having trouble on Fridays here with names.
Yeah. So, but I feel like even though it was the first overall pick that beat him, I mean, I want to see the Jedrick Wills that we were all hoping that we were going to get, which was the guy that Joe Thomas was coming out saying he's going to be the best tackle in the draft. He's going to be a Pro Bowl player. He's going to be an All-Pro player. Like, when are we going to see that guy? And, again, this is preseason week 1, so we have to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But, I mean, like, I just wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of a guy who was so highly touted coming out of Alabama. And I think that he, I mean, Amsterdam, like he just said it. I think that maybe Jed needs to move over to the right and we find a long-term solution at left this next upcoming offseason, because it's not working. It's not working with him on the left, and I don't trust him being Deshaun's blindside protector.
Where do you see Amsterdam?
I've got the live chat up here. So
do I. It must be lit.
Here, hold on.
All right.
Wait.
Well, I'll get it in a second. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I here's my biggest thing, to be completely honest with you. I really hope that what'd you just laugh at? What?
Kellen, we produce more good running backs than Phillip Rivers does kids. That's funny.
Good job, Kellen.
Hey,
that's hilarious.
No,
my biggest concern with this whole Deshaun thing is that he's going to get a suspension to where he can't play anymore of the preseason, and that's going to be what we see.
Yeah,
that's my biggest fear.
And it's a justified fear, because it's clear to me he needs more reps, and he needs more quality reps in a game where he's not facing guys he sees practice, and it means something when it's a game.
I guess I'm more concerned with the way the offense looked, because, like we were saying, the line looked bad, the wide receivers looked bad, everything looked bad, and we didn't have Chubb and Hunt. I get that. but it just seemed like everything flowed so well with Dobbs in there, and the running backs and the offensive line looked fine, and everything just flowed well. And it was like play calling was very smooth, and it just was kind of like, okay, here we go. My main concern is Stefanski not willing to adapt, but he's being forced to adapt? Is my thing.
I got a rough overreaction to tinfoil hat time.
I'm just trying to I'm peeling the onion right now. I'm trying to get to the center of this and just peeling back the onion and just kind of going at it like maybe Stefanski doesn't want to adapt.
Jimmy Haslam called Stefanski, called the plays, called down to the side.
We've had that happen before. Don't joke about that. We've had that happen before.
We had the homeless guy that drafted Johnny Manziel calling plays.
So I'm very concerned about that as a whole, that we're getting out of Stefanski's realm of calling plays, and maybe that means we need to bring an offensive coordinator to call plays, which is not going to happen right now. So it's kind of like I don't know. I'm overreacting week one. And way overreacting, but at the same time, it's got to be like.
I mean,
I like Stefanski's offense. That's why I am more geared towards. I like running the ball first. I like the fullback. I like the tight ends.
Dude, look at Jacksonville. Let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars offense tonight with Trevor Lawrence starting. Hold on.
Okay.
When Jacksonville was running their offense, what did they do? They came out. First of all, they tested the waters a little bit. Then they ran the ball, and then they ran the ball, and then they ran the ball, and they ran the ball, and they ran the ball, and they ran the ball. Play action off of that. Guess what? All of a sudden, when you have that effective run game, you're hitting guys wide open. I mean, Trevor Lawrence looked like an elite quarterback because there was guys running scot-free, wide open, right through our soft zone defense, which is another thing that I want to complain about. It was pitiful to start off, but got better, but.
They didn't do that in 13 personnel, though, did they?
No.
So that just proves right there that we can do that same thing in the personnel that we
did
want.
In 12.
Exactly.
But
I don't know.
Speaking of Scott, Browns won.
Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
Browns won. You better close your DMs tonight,
Speaking
everybody.
Of
Tony,
Scott,
turn your camera
Browns
on.
won. Yeah, close your DMs. Brown won.
So no, but no. Also, I mean, I get, with I get Cozy. I get it because it's one of those things where you want to see things go well right away, so that way it's like you're confident in what you're seeing. He only threw the ball 5 times, so I think it's still a bit too soon to see. I think it's still too soon to see what we truly have in him. Let's let him play. Let's let him get like 15 throws in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that, because when we see that, we'll have a good understanding. What's this offense going to look like. I think tonight was a lot of experimental stuff. A lot of testing the water, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And I mean, I really hope that we're going to see some news for Will Fuller, just because I would like to see one more guy that's proven at that receiver spot. Because for me, none of the guys that we're really rooting for are ready for that yet.
Yeah. Well, and another thing to this whole point that we're talking about, right? Why was the Deshaun Watson time on the field so bad? Well, another thing, not only was he hit Anthony Schwartz twice. Those are drop balls. That's momentum. But on top of that, you also had flags. So you kept going backwards. And it's like, bro, the dysfunction and whatever was happening, they just did not look ready to go on either side of the ball to kick off this game. And it's concerning. It is very concerning to me that You're throwing to guys, hitting them in the hands, they can't catch, and then you turn around on that same drive and you have what, 2 flags, whatever. What's going on? I know it's preseason. I know you're trying to get back into a rhythm, but still, there's no excuses for that. That's just my opinion. But let's shift gears here. Let's talk about some good, because I'm sure everybody's a little bit depressed with what we're talking about here. So again, some stars from the game. Jerome Ford is my player of the game without a doubt. Jordan Elliott showing some flashes, like we talked about at halftime. Got some pretty good pressure. Did I say Isaiah Thomas already?
No, not in this list, no.
Okay, so Isaiah Thomas is on that list. He looked really good. You already talked about Alex Wright, Cozy. He had some pretty good plays. Got to put Martin Emerson on that list. That's a heck of a takeaway. You know what I'm saying? Great job by Martin Emerson going up over and grabbing that ball.
Martin Emerson's my defensive player of the game.
Yeah, I mean he had a great play. That opening defensive drive was a little bit sloppy, but I can't be mad at him because he turned it around and he got the job done. So Martin Emerson's on that list. Trying to think who else I would throw.
Tony Fields.
Tony Fields. I didn't get to watch him close enough. That's my fault.
Tony Fields, I want to say had at least 4.
Make every summer adventure the destination with
Uh-oh.
America's most efficient.
Who is that? Is that Tony?
So
Oh my gosh, Tony, you're gonna get me flagged. Who is that?
That's not
That
me.
is
Don't
Tony.
blame me.
Who
That's
is
on
that?
me.
Oh, that's not
It
me.
ain't me. I got nothing playing.
It might have been me, apparently. I don't know.
I don't have
That's
it.
the
I haven't
ghost
even
of
planned.
no.
Don't blame me.
I went to go look up stats of players. I wanted to see Tony Fields' stats, so maybe it was me.
You probably got an ad.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, Derek, I know that we were talking when we did our draft review about MJ Emerson. We had a pretty good deep dive onto him, and the expectation for us with him for this season was to be a guy that could come in and play for us situationally and be a really good situational football player because he's so different from everything we've got in that defensive backs room. And
Oh my gosh, here it is again. Cozy, is that you? That's gotta be you.
That's you. But anyways, I think when we're talking about like MJ Emerson for
it
this
was
season,
an ad when I was going to the box score. So yeah,
so
we're actually sponsored by GMC now. So just want to let you guys know.
Yeah, great. Give me a new truck, please.
Browns After Dark by GMC.
GMC, if you're watching.
presented by
Yeah.
GMC.
Dude, Fields had 7 tackles tonight, 4 solo.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was going to say.
Kellen
Actually, you know what?
Isaac Rochelle.
Isaac Rochelle, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say this. Tommy Togiai.
Yeah, he's another one. Yeah.
He had a very good game.
That is not me. That is not me.
Why? I paused. Look, for some reason, I paused the ads, and when I went away from the page, it came back up again and started playing.
Cozy, you got to mute the browser. You can do it up top under the tabs. There will be like a little.
I know how to
speaker.
do it.
Okay,
Hey,
I wanted to
by
make
the
sure.
way, hey, for the record, I just logged out of my Google account and I see 420 Amsterdam is commenting. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's not coming up on my end.
You good.
It's not showing, but I know Amsterdam. He's a cool dude. I would put your comments up, but I literally don't see him here, so I don't know what.
I mean, you could definitely put Kellen's last comment up about the Buckeye.
Mhm.
Yeah, what of it?
Yeah, what of it?
But yeah, so I mean, listen, we've been. Whoops, I just hit my mic. We've been talking about a lot of the negatives, but there's definitely some positives to this game for sure.
I think I got to go with, okay, so Jerome Ford, obviously offensive side, but honestly, most impressed, Josh Dobbs.
Yeah,
And Rosen. Josh Dobbs and Rosen.
they did
were
a pretty good job. Yeah,
they were excellent. Not a pretty good job. So they were excellent, honestly.
All right, the stupid frog wants to come back in here. I don't know what he wants.
Okay.
What do you want, frog boy?
Jeez, man.
Stop hopping up in and out. Just stay in or
Well,
get out.
maybe you should have been here at the very beginning when I was.
Oh well. Some people were getting ready to go do their Uber and Lyft job for the night. So
Some people. Okay.
JC, we were talking about the positives. You have anything you'd
So
like to
let
add,
me-
or you
let
just
me-
gonna be negative?
First off, I've been more positive than any of you.
Hey.
And other than us, we've been on the same way. But let me ask you guys this: of the receivers, and we've kind of said this already, that we weren't super impressed with anybody. But was there anybody that you liked even a little bit? I thought that Wims, he's number 16, Javon Wims. I thought he played pretty good for the opportunities he got.
Yeah,
And
solid.
also, I think it's man, don't want to mess the name up because it's gonna
I'll
happen
kick
there. Dalen Baldwin. He had 2 pretty good quick slant catches. That looked pretty nice too. So, I mean, other than those 2 guys, did anybody else stick out to you like in any way? Because I kind of liked a couple things I saw from those 2.
Who is the linebacker we got? His last name was
56.
Yes,
Dude,
he popped
played
for me.
very good. Yeah, I forgot his name completely, but I
Is
was
he
going to bring him up too. He played really good.
Is he from Last Chance U? Is that the same guy?
Oh, Dakota Allen.
Right. Yes, that's who it is.
Dakota. Yes, he played.
Yeah.
He made like 2 or 3 really good plays. I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Dakota Allen, he actually led the team in tackles. He had 8.
Wow, did
Yeah.
he really?
Wow.
Yeah, he had 8. 4
So
solo.
he probably played the whole entire game too. So, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So Kellen asked about Taven Bryant.
Yes, I was gonna bring him up too.
Oh, do we really want to get into him? Because I
I was
watched.
Wasn't
underwhelmed.
impressed. Was not impressed at all. He
He
can't
was
be a starter.
awful.
Yeah.
He was awful.
Just
Just
underwhelming.
Hey, before I forget, we talked about this at halftime. Cozy noticed it too. Perrion Winfrey was being double teamed the entire time.
Mhm.
That is
and held.
that is very, very interesting.
That man's starting for us, bro. He's our best D tackle.
From a defensive scheme standpoint, if D coordinators are out here saying, I don't care, hold him, double team him, whatever, that is very interesting. Perrion Winfrey, I think, we'll see what he does throughout the preseason. He had a little bit of an underwhelming night, in my opinion, but for him to be constantly held and constantly double teamed like that, that tells me something.
Didn't Elliott have a sack or no? Or
Yeah,
tackle for a
Elliott was
loss?
solid.
So he is a huge. If he can be even a starting level D tackle for us, that's going to be really big for us. Togiai, I still expect that he can put it together. I think I saw his name called once or twice tonight. I don't think anybody D tackle wise really popped. Isaiah Thomas on the D line, I think, was kind of the biggest plus overall. But
Perrion popped. Perrion just kept getting double teamed and held. Perrion popped, but once again, the one thing I noticed about Perrion is he kept just going upfield.
there was the one play action. I think it was
Yes.
a touchdown. I don't know if that's his job because he probably should go for the run first, right? But yeah, he over pursued for sure.
That was
play.
the big problem. That was a big problem from him in college. If you go back,
it was. But
Yeah.
I mean, we need to work on that. That needs to be something they look at. They work on. Perrion's going to start over Taven Bryant. If it was today, Perrion starts. Yeah.
What, alongside Jordan Elliott?
absolutely, I agree,
Yeah,
Kellen.
that's what it seems like, right? Those two.
I actually think that Jordan Elliott is going to get passed by Togiai.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be great. Of course, you hope that, as Kellen would say.
Togiai's good.
But
Togiai's
Togiai
been
had
really
a good game. He had a good game.
I trust me. I love Togiai. I thought he came out a year early last year, but I think he has a ton of potential, and I hope he can start too. Of course.
He had 4 tackles tonight. So, I mean,
That's
in
what
limited
Garrett
time.
Did he? Wow, there you go. Yeah, that's nice. I know he had 4 tackles
Yeah.
from DT.
One guy I was really hoping to see tonight, but we haven't. or at least I didn't notice him, was Winovich. I'm really excited to see how he fits.
Yeah, I didn't even.
He was on the
notice him.
field a
He was.
little, but I don't think he
He
played
was.
a lot.
I didn't really notice him.
He was involved in, I want to say, maybe like 1 or 2 tackles, but that was about it. I don't think he had any solo. Let me look at what they scored as box score. Actually, they scored that he had 2 tackles that were solo. I swear that it was like not solo tackles, but actually, but on just kind of an off note, you know who really stuck out to me was Ronnie Harrison. More because of his green hair, but which was interesting. But I thought he had a pretty decent game. I don't know. Maybe I'm
From what I saw, yeah, I noticed him playing fairly well too. Which, you know, that's a player. You know, Derek, in the off season, we were talking on the podcast, very much upset with that move. But one of the things that I was very adamant about with Ronnie Harrison was he's still young. He has a lot of potential. He's flashed before. You know, maybe it's just a slump. You know, so. And listen, if that was the case, and that is the case, then we're set at safety. We're good. We're looking solid. So, you know, but again, it is preseason. You know, let's see what the next few preseason games have in store for us. And you know, I'm excited. There's definitely a lot of positives.
You know what
Did y'all notice what we did with Ronnie? We gave him a little bit of the Jabril treatment on a couple plays, and I didn't like that. We had him playing way too far.
We had him and Delpit in
playing
opposite
him
spots than I expected.
Yeah,
I thought, you know what I mean?
playing him in a opposite area code. Yeah, I did notice that a few plays, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, if anything, I'd rather have, because there was a play, at least a few that I saw where it was JOK and Delpit was beside him. Those were our 2 linebackers, and that's what I want Ronnie to be. I want Ronnie to basically just be a linebacker, and if he is, I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with us re-signing him. But yeah, I mean, if one of those guys is going to be more of a free safety and one of them is going to be a linebacker, I'd rather it be flipped and put Delpit back deep and, you know, put Ronnie as close to the line as possible.
So Kellen brings up a good thing about who do you think is kicking the can, since I think we're going to 75, right? We go 90 to 75, or is it 85?
I don't know.
Hey, what do you think? I'm sorry. What?
I think it's 85 and 75, right?
Oh, number wise, okay.
Yeah, number.
I thought it was 90 to 75, but maybe it's 85.
I can't remember. Either way, there's a lot of guys that we just haven't talked about that are probably just going to get the cut. This first cut is a lot of guys that, you know, if they were guys you didn't know before they got signed and they didn't really do anything special, they're not going to make it. You know, that's really what this is. So I don't think there's any important names that are going to get cut yet, but I think as we move forward, there are a couple of names to keep an eye on. You could see a Schwartz one. I don't think so.
Not this soon.
I don't think this soon. But... Yeah. And maybe Felton. You might see a defensive tackle maybe that might have some hype around him. You never know. I hope that is it Dakota Allen? I keep forgetting. Yes, Dakota Allen.
I want him on this roster.
Yeah, me too.
I'd
rather have him than geez, I'm gonna keep saying numbers because I don't want to mess names up. 42 that we drafted last year. Yeah, I mean he's shown more than Fields so far.
I wouldn't give up.
No, we're not moving on from Fields yet.
You okay? I'm sorry. I didn't exactly mean it that way, but I'm just saying.
Don't you know Cozy has the final say in this stuff? Come on, now.
Right.
Exactly.
We're not moving up from him. Tony Fields is someone who could make he could also make it to the practice squad if he got cut. That's another thing I was thinking. But so could Dakota Allen. You know, maybe.
How many linebackers are we going to carry? Because you got to think about it. Yeah. Phillips, JOK, Anthony Walker. Those 3 are probably definitely making it.
Taki's
making it.
How many linebackers are we going to keep?
I think last year we. Man,
did we keep 6 last year?
I think we kept so. The initial 53 was a little weird, for like roster gymnastic reasons, but I think we kept 7 on the initial roster, and that was because we had to We had somebody, I think it was Phillips, who if he made the roster and we got on the IR like the next day.
Yeah.
Actually,
But-
someone else who I thought had a pretty decent game, and I saw his name pop up a lot, or he was around the ball, was Willie Harvey Jr.
Yeah.
He didn't have a bad game. I noticed him a decent amount.
What did we think about AJ Green? Did he play much tonight? I didn't really notice.
He made
Little
one
bit.
really good tackle
Yeah.
that I saw.
Oh,
Yeah, he had a really
that's
good
right.
open field tackles
Yeah.
that he had.
Mhm.
So, but the thing is, when he made the tackle, he like made the open field tackle, but he gave up like 4 to 5 yards after it. Like, I don't know. It just was a weird wrap up. He didn't wrap up and like tackle him. He made it like upper body kind of tackle and got driven, like basically kind of threw him forward, but it was like 3 or 4 yards. I don't know. I mean, without our secondary in, I didn't think Trevor Lawrence was like tearing us up that much without our main guys in the secondary in. And
Yeah, I am excited to see, how like does the Joe Woods defense take a step from where they finished last year? That for me is a big one because the way that defense finished the year, like they were playing really well, and for me, if we're looking to be deep playoff contenders, that defense right off the bat has to be great. Especially when you consider Deshaun's not going to be here for at least the first 6 games. So, it's something to keep an eye on for me. A lot of good young defensive guys that popped today. And then, we haven't really gotten into a deep conversation yet about him. I know we talked about him at halftime, but, Jerome Ford, the explosiveness he has and the way he, is able to get through his first gap and just get up into the secondary. He's got elite explosiveness, and he very well, I said this at halftime too, he very well could be our best draft pick from this class besides Cade York. So
He was very good. His shiftiness was incredible. I'm going to keep saying this. Once that guy puts on a little bit more size, he's going to be phenomenal. Plus, he's going to be a weapon in like the RPO game, take him out of the backfield. Like he's going to be incredible.
And if we do have a Kareem Hunt trade, who do we think is going to be taking those RB2 reps? Ford or Felton? Because that would be a very good conversation if we were to move off from Hunt this year.
Well, it would be Dearness Johnson.
Oh, yeah, yes.
It would be Dearness Johnson, but I think you would see a lot of Ford.
Ford.
I think you would see a lot of Ford.
Felton's dead on the water on this team, correct? Like
it feels like it.
Unless, we need receivers still. Like, he's got to be a receiver.
You have David Bell that you're forgetting that he's going to make.
I'm not forgetting, dude. David Bell is probably our third best receiver. You got to have more than that.
You have David Bell. What about Michael Woods when he comes back?
He's not coming back, right?
No,
What?
he'll be back. He'll be back.
How long is he out for?
What are you
Not
talking
long.
about?
What are you talking about?
That's Isaiah
Woods?
West that's on the IR.
What's that? How long is Woods out for?
Woods is only out like day to day.
So we just thought it was worse at first.
Frog memory span.
Tony, I didn't understand a word you said.
Okay, wait, real quick. Did Mike Hurley Jr. play today?
Yeah, he played.
I didn't really see anything from him.
Yeah, didn't
But
I
have
said
really much.
frogs have a short memory span.
You can only keep so much in this little pad.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm taking Anthony Schwartz. I don't care what people say over Marcus Felton. I don't like Felton at all.
Marcus Felton. There we go.
Man,
Oh, Jesus.
You with names today, man.
That's not even close to his name
Dem-
either.
Dimitri Felton. Oh, man. It has been a long Friday.
We don't even have a Mark. You were thinking of Jamarcus Bradley.
Cozy, did you lose in bingo or something? He's having a rough day.
Yeah.
Oh.
You need to just have the roster pulled up on your computer while we're doing this.
The last time he did a GMC commercial played.
Hey, I can't say much of anything because draft time. I kept saying Chase Winovich might be the number 1 overall pick,
Ouch.
and then was Aiden Hutchinson. Whatever. He looked really good today, by the way.
But listen, let's go through it.
Aiden
We need,
Hutchinson.
what do we need? 6 receivers, right? Probably.
Okay.
So
Feels like
we
it.
have what do we name? We got
No,
3
Amari,
top ones: Amari,
DPJ,
David Bell, and DVJ.
Bell,
Right.
Anthony Schwartz, or
Those are the 3 locks, right? The other 2
Those are the
guys
3
that
locks.
seem like locks both
Anthony
suck.
Schwartz.
Who's terrible?
All right.
I think Felton you can fit into that receiver room at this point.
Jamarcus Bradley,
I think
Michael
he's almost
Woods.
a lock at this point. Jamarcus Bradley is.
and Michael Woods.
Oh yeah, Michael Wood.
Michael Woods, yeah, we are forgetting about him. I'm really eager to see him play.
Wait. What about Javion Wims?
Or
Yeah,
Javon Wims.
Javon Wims. Yes,
Wow.
I thought I thought he played great today. So
Yeah,
so he's like the dark horse.
You know what? All season long, I'm just gonna tell.
You're just
call
gonna say
everyone by
everyone's name wrong.
different first name.
Deshaun
So,
York
You're gonna be
on the
like
kick.
Saquon
No.
Chubb.
So Mike Garrett is going to have a great season and have a ton of sacks.
Oh my god.
But
Miles Stefanski.
so Saleh just came out. Rappaport tweeted that Saleh, the Jets coach, said that supposedly Zach Wilson's ACL is supposed to still be intact. So maybe it's not an ACL.
It's just intact but left on the field.
Yeah. So, but
It's
yeah,
supposed
I
to be
guess-
intact, but it may
Yeah.
not be.
It's intact. It's just not inside of his body anymore.
Yeah. All right. I'm probably going to end this soon. I had physical therapy today. My shoulder is absolutely killing me at the moment, and I'm tired and I'm hungry. So,
Yeah, what of it?
yeah,
Well,
I know what of it. But
yeah. And well,
anybody
you
else
know,
want to add anything?
I do think, like, let's say whatever it is that happened to Zach Wilson, that really sucks because this was a huge year for him.
Yep.
Just unrelated to Brown stuff.
If it is a torn ACL, the last 4 number 2 picks in the NFL draft have had a torn ACL in their NFL career. So
Wait,
kind of-
okay, Saquon, him,
Saquon, Nick Bosa,
Bosa, right?
who's
Him,
last
and
year?
then it was him
uh,
last year.
It was him last year, and then the year before him was, I gotta look it up. I saw someone tweet about it.
2 years ago, second overall pick. Jeez, that's rough. I can't remember.
It was dang, wow. Wait, who went first? Kyler or no? No,
2 years ago? No. Burrow.
Herbert Burrow. So who went
Yeah,
second to
so
Burrow?
Chase Young.
Oh yeah, Chase Young. Yep, there it is. Yep. Kellen, another Buckeye for you to report about. Chase Young. Great Buckeye.
Big Buckeye fan, Kellen is.
Yep.
Yeah, Kellen down in the.
Just
comments.
wait
Huge
until September
Buckeye
3rd.
Oh,
All right. I'm ending this because I don't think I have any more in me. So,
Yeah, that boulder on your shoulder just weighs you down, just like Baker.
dude,
your idol.
so for physical therapy, I had to do like a bunch of. It's basically stretching because they told me it's mostly just range of motion. And there was one thing, and he called it like washing walls. It's one of the things I have to do, and I literally have to take.
Because
a
his
rag like
ladybug
this.
phone just wrong.
I have.
no! I turned my lift app on him. I got a
Of
lift.
course, it was actually you. That always was.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead, Derek. You
No,
had
but
to wring a towel out or something. What is it?
No, I have to take a towel like this and go straight up, right? And I had to do that 15 times of 10 seconds each, and then I had to do it like on the side, so like this up. When I tell you my arm feels like it's on fire right now, it hurts so bad.
Yeah, you separated it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did the same thing, and it was brutal.
yeah,
So-
it's not fun. Not
Yeah,
fun at
imagine
all.
playing quarterback with that.
Well, I wish he would have. Well, I can't say that.
Well,
He didn't have a separated shoulder. He had a torn in his other shoulder too.
Well, I mean, Derek, you can still see straight, right?
Depends.
Yeah, you can see the field, right?
Yeah, you can
actually
see the field,
you're so damn tall. You actually could see the field better than him.
I feel like if I went out and played quarterback right now, I might be able to do better than him. I'm not gonna lie. Even hurt. You can ask Cozy.
Yeah,
We played baseball with
clip
the
that?
separated shoulder. We played baseball with the
Can
separated
we
shoulder,
clip
and I
that?
still hit the furthest. You
Clip
clip whatever
what?
you want there, cinnamon beer.
Yeah, your
All right.
competition's hey, wait a minute. Your competition's a geriatric old man and Riley. You should hit the farthest.
What of it? What of it?
Riley looks like he. What do you mean? What's
All right. Everybody, have a good one. I'm ending this.
Tony,
I need
we're waiting for you to grill us. Okay, please.